Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Do say hi. Do introduce yourselves. Do let me know where you are coming in from around the world. And yeah, let me know that you can hear me okay before we begin to tumble into the innate and all that they're going to bring for us this evening. So do say hi. Do let us know where you are in the world. And importantly, let me know that you can hear me okay. Can everyone hear me okay? If someone can just type to say that they can hear me, that would be greatly, greatly appreciated. Okay. Hopefully you can hear me, and we will begin. So, okay, themes for this coming full moon. We are just on the edge of it, and the thing is, we're on the edge of a lot right now. You know, we've got this full moon rising, incoming. We've also got the spring equinox as well. So we've got the spring equinox meeting this incoming full moon. You know, there's a lot of alchemy at play here. And if we kind of look at the name of this incoming full moon, if we take a look at the name of it, it is sap full moon. And I think there is an absolute clue there in the word. We've got this rising energy. Fantastic. People can hear me. Can you hear me okay? Can everyone hear me okay? So we have this rising energy alongside that spring equinox, which is absolutely, you know, this balancing. So let's have a look. Fantastic. Let's have a look at some of the themes for this coming full moon. Purpose. Okay, we're going to dive deeper into all of these, but we're just going to kind of bring them into the cauldron. Is we've got purpose. Okay, the other one that's coming up is rifts. Okay, and liberation and deep healing within these rifts. Okay, so a sense of liberation and deep healing with long-term rifts, something absolutely that just keeps coming up and absolutely is taking hold within the consultations that I have been working with in the last few weeks. That has really been a consistent theme. Drifting and evolution within friendships. So you're finding friendships are drifting and evolving within friendships. Alongside that, karmic contracts. Karmic contracts served and met within friendships, relationships, and family, bringing about endings and beginnings. And alongside that, soulful relationships rooted in growth and deep love showing up within your lives as well. Another theme is empowerment. And I think with this full moon that's coming, with that, you know, just look at the name, sap full moon, this rising, okay, this rising empowerment and awakening. Awakening feels this spring really huge, and people having dynamic experiences. Those of you that do follow me consistently on YouTube, you'll see one of the videos that I dropped where we're talking about direct physical contact. We will be exploring that also this evening. So, awakening, transparency and truth, a continuation. That feels to be a really consistent theme, a deeper sense of transparency, a deeper sense of truth. And this one has been bubbling up for a little while now. Resurgence of the arts. Okay, resurgence of the arts. So we will really, really, really explore all of those themes in great detail. We're going to turn some cards as well, and we'll also take some of your questions. But let's just take a minute. Let's just take a moment. Let's take a moment. And what I encourage you all to do is just take a moment and very gently place your hands there on your heart. Let them rest there very gently on your heart. And I very gently encourage you to just take a breath and very gently close your eyes. And in doing so, just breathing nice and gently, taking a real gentle deep breath, and just allowing yourself to drop into this now moment, allowing the breathing to begin to slow down, allowing yourself to drop into this now moment, and very gently reaching out to your ancestors, reaching out to your guides, seen and unseen, known and unknown. Great Spirit, great mystery, Spirit of the land and time and place. Beloved ancestors, those that have come before us and those that are yet to come. Guides and teachers, seen and unseen, known and unknown. Beloved Freya, beloved Bridget, Almighty Odin, we ask that you be with us this night. When. Just gently breathe into that space, reach out to those that guide you, and very gently bring yourself back into the space. So I often get asked, Shane, what is the Arwen? The Arwen is this tattoo here, hard to see, there we are. Arwen, this is the Arwen. And it is 3 bars of light. And it is divine inspiration. So I tend to often close an intention, a prayer with Arwen, which is divine inspiration, allowing it to flow through us. So this full moon, how are you feeling? How are you feeling as we move towards this sap full moon? Where are you? How do you feel? How is this speaking to you? You know, look at those themes. We just touched upon them. Do they resonate with you? Are they moving through your life right now? All right. So let's take a deeper dive into them. Purpose, okay? Let's look at that purpose. I have a real feeling that is really stirring in the collective. It's almost as if the collective is saying, waking up there on a Monday morning and saying, where am I? What am I doing? Can I continue to do what I've been doing? You know, there's this real kind of cracking open that's happening. I think I've said it before, but I think there's 2 really powerful energies moving through the collective at the moment, which is either this sense of drawing back, okay, this sense of drawing back, or being pushed to draw back. That's the other thing that's happening. And we're kind of seeing it in that wider stage as well, in that kind of global stage. It's like there are very influential individuals that are being pushed inwardly. All right, so there's 2 things happening. People are either really kind of closing down, going inward, like drawing back from the world, and there can be a multitude of reasons why that is happening. It's like it can be really overwhelming and people are just kind of drawing back, or they're being pushed to go inward, or on the other side of that coin there is this cracking open that is happening. It's like this really huge powerful cracking open that's happening. It's like hearts are being literally cracked open. And within that, I think people are sitting there and they're like going, do you know, what am I doing? And there is this longing to move towards purpose. Okay, so there is this real feeling of remembering who you are, and importantly, who you have always been. All right, you know, I have this absolute deep belief that we are the sum of many lifetimes. Not just this one life. We are the sum of many lives. Okay. And people are experiencing these light bulb moments to who they are and what is your purpose and what their purpose is. It's like there's this deep clarity, as if a mist is drawing back. And I really do feel that when we talk about direct spirit contact, it feels like there is a mist that is drawing back. Those worlds are really becoming interwoven. It's like waking up from a deep sleep. Okay, waking up from a deep sleep. So how does that speak to you? How is that speaking to you? Are you feeling that? Are you moving into your purpose? Are you asking, you know, what am I doing? You know, really important things to kind of just percolate. Where am I? Where am I? And the other thing is, if you've identified your purpose, is how do I move towards that? How do I strengthen that? How do I expand upon that? How am I moving into that? Alongside that, rise of the sacred. Rise of the sacred. There is this surge, I believe, moving through the collective as well. There's this real sense of moving towards that divinity, moving towards that sacredness. I think it's a real longing within the collective. So some of the feelings, some of the questions that have been percolating and bubbling is, what are the practices and the rituals that keep you connected? I think that's really important. If you're kind of moving into that sense of purpose, is okay, what are the practices and what are the rituals that keep you connected? You know, for me, very simply, and I think, you know, simplicity is potency. Simplicity is absolute potency. One of the simple workings that I anchor myself into is, in the mornings, is very gently sitting by the hearth side, sitting by the altar side, very gently then sweeping the altar side clear, very gently lighting some incense or some sage, some Palo Santo, very gently lighting 2 candles, and then very gently honoring those that work with us, the unseen, the innate, the divine, and then very gently dedicating that light to all their guidance, all of that nourishment that they bring us. You know, so you're kind of honoring the seen and the unseen, the known and the unknown, and those guides and teachers that work with you. And then very gently I ask that that light be woven around all those that I hold in my heart, and all those that hold me in their hearts, all those that I have worked with, and yet to work with, and also to those that have come before me and those that are yet to come, our children's children. Really beautiful, but very simple act and prayer. So that is one of the practices that I keep. What about you? What are the practices and rituals that keep you nourished, nurtured, and connected? those sacred practices and acts will become increasingly important for more of us to keep grounded, as well as this world really does spin and it is unraveling. There's so much happening that it keeps us grounded and also firmly rooted in our connection. Very simple act there, sitting by the altar side and half side. Do you have an altar? That's the other thing. Do you have an altar? The choice of direction is so unique to each and every one of us, but it originates from the pulse or wave of the same source. What a special time there to kind of like sit by that half side or that altar side and to become creative. People say to me, what do I say? What's in here? What is in here? Let it come from that deep place. And that has real power. And that's the important thing, is we're moving beyond here and we're moving from in here. So we just want to allow that to guide us. Okay, allowing that to guide us. And that can be hugely, hugely powerful. Now we're moving into the more grittier aspects of some of these themes that are coming up, is rifts. I'm seeing that so often. It's like rifts that have been there not for weeks or months, they've been there for years, that are coming to a tipping point, either a sense of being resolved, and sometimes that is a really, really, really gritty and painful process. Some of those rifts that are becoming resolved, some of that is because someone has become very unwell or very sick, or there's been another layer of trauma, and people kind of sitting there going, do you know what? I've got to put all that to one side. I need to actually heal that. And I think that's the thing. There is this longing, deep longing in the collective to make peace. We're only but seeing the world around us absolutely rupture. And that is, I think, stirring up this deep requirement for deeper healing within ourselves and deeper healing amongst each other as well. There's a longing for peace. There's a longing for peace. So rifts becoming resolved, or a sense of liberation. People going, do you know what? I absolutely tried to reach that for many, many years. I'm now freeing myself. I'm now untangling myself. I'm now going to place peace upon myself, and I am freeing myself. That is creating a deep healing. One of the other key words that we put there within those themes was deep healing. During these months, many people have felt that energy rising, and it can lead to like a disorientation, or even a fatigue or shutdown. And that's what we were talking about. It's like people are either drawing back or they're cracking open. But during these times, it's to remember that there is also a positive dislodging of old energy from your life. All right, there's this positive dislodging. So that's where, some of those rifts and deep healing is occurring from a dislodging. It's like the energy is coming in and absolutely stirring everything up. So you get this dislodging of old energy from your life, and the vast ancestral healing that is now taking place on the planet. It is huge. And I really deeply feel that myself through my dreams, and connecting to my ancestry. And I have, beloved Irish ancestry, and an Irish ancestor who had appeared a little time back. And during my dreams, I was able to unravel the deeper kind of trauma that was there, that was passed down, that they experienced. I will put a link, and those of you that consistently follow me, you can go and find my story about St. Patrick's Day. Okay, that will be absolutely worth a watch, and I go into that dream in far more detail, because it really did shine a bright light on the inversion that had taken place. So to see my ancestor within that dream, and I could feel her standing there gazing up at the moon, holding a black form staff, wrapped in this green cloak with this red fiery hair and these really rich deep green eyes. All sounds very familiar. And her ushering these words that I didn't understand, but I knew them to be a prayer. And I felt very deeply that she was living in a time that was very, very, very troubled, a really, really troubled time within their history. And there was a sense of her ushering this prayer for her children's children. She was really concerned about what was happening, and she was concerned for her children's children. And there was a real kind of sense of that within this dream, and it threw me out of the dream, and I woke up and come to, and I had floods of tears because I felt every bit of that, which then got me to look more deeply into the stories of the present day and how we've arrived where we are, and also going underneath those stories. So, we talk about St. Patrick's Day really shining a bright light on the inversion that took place. And that is where that ancestral healing is taking place. And that is absolutely taking place here on the planet in a very powerful way. Alongside that is to rest, but know that we are being rearranged during this process. The cosmic furniture, that's what spirits say, the cosmic furniture of our lives continues to be placed. Drifting and evolution within friendships. And some of that, how that I think that is taking hold, which may look like slowing down. Just this feeling of, just kind of checking in with this urge to slow down and letting go. Closing doors. This is the drifting. It's like, have you been holding a friendship together? Are you holding friendships together? Do you feel you're losing resonance with some of the people around you, or some of the friendships that you hold? Are you feeling like you're losing resonance? Which is that slowing down, that letting go, the closing of doors, and importantly, ending dynamic patterns. It's just like this realignment, so that a alignment and adjustment can take place. And the key is, if you're concerned that you may be upsetting the apple cart, then you're probably on the right track. You're probably on the right track, because to get to peace, sometimes we need to move through that deeper truth, that grittier truth. Does that make sense? To get to that place of peace, we need to move through that grittier truth. So as spirits say, if you're upsetting the apple cart, then you're probably on the right track. Nothing much can be built on the old paradigm. So we need to let the old tower fall and shift. And if we look at the tarot cards for a moment with that, we look at the tarot cards and we look at where the tower is positioned within the deck itself. What moves beyond the tower? So you've got the crumbling tower. What precedes it is the star card. Okay, beautiful card, the star card. And you get this sense of hope after the tower going over. So this is where the healing takes place. That sense of light begins to return. You get the sense of renewal. You get the sense of hope. And I know in the Light Seer Tarot, there's beautiful imagery there of this girl with this silver thread tethered from her heart that goes up, goes up into the sky, and there it's attached to this star. And you think that precedes the tower that goes over. So, you know, if you're concerned that you may be upsetting the apple cart, then you're probably on the right track. Nothing much now can be built on the old paradigm. That is absolutely falling away. So let the old tower fall and let it shift. Okay, let it fall and let it shift. Karmic contracts being served and met. Okay, karmic contracts being served and met. Friendships, within relationships, within family. You know, what comes to mind straight away for me is a season, a reason, or a lifetime. Okay, a season, reason, or lifetime comes to mind here, which may look like, again, slowing down, letting go, closing doors, ending those dynamic patterns so that that alignment can take place. And with that, you know, I really feel when we talk about kind of rifts and those karmic contracts being served and met, a dissolving of anger. We are seeing so much anger out there in the world, and anger is a fire energy. It also can be a protective signal. You know, it's like, you know, you're feeling angry. It's actually where you are asserting a boundary. Okay. But it also can be used in reaction or even combative ways. You know, it's like you're going into a fight. And I think there will be a theme in the coming months of anger no longer having the power it once had. It's like we're all seeing the kind of energy behind it. You know, we're all seeing the energy behind it. And I kind of know that, you know, when I'm out cycling and I'm there on the road in the thick of it, you know, you can't just tear past you and then cut in front of you. You know, it used to enrage me. It used to enrage me, really used to enrage me. But now, you know, there's this part of feeling like just stepped back from that. And, you know, it's just like this real sea change that has happened over a period of time that I just found myself arriving in the sense of, you know, kind of seeing everything kind of play out and observing it rather being in it, you know, which is this sense of where we dissolve that reactive aspect. Very, very powerful. And this may show up in your own life and your own relationship to anger, or in the lives around you, where you've had previously a frustration. It's falling away. And I think that some of that is because we are tumbling into our heart spaces, and I don't say that lightly. And it is also possibly where the relationship or contact and connection is going through that healing shift. We are dissolving into our hearts. Okay. So what you struggled with before, it's like there's just a dissolving. It's like coming to an ending. And actually, you know, if you kind of look at it, anger is very primal. It's a really, 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 really primal energy. And often what's behind that is often fear. You know, you can say, well, it's control. Well, behind control, what's behind control? Okay. And there's two kind of energies on there. You know, it's like love, fear. and there's so much that in a way over these last 5 years we've been dissolving, and I think the next big one is anger. Our anger is out there in the world with so much force right now. I think we're beginning to see behind it, and when we look at those two things that are really moving through the collective, either you're shutting down, and in doing so maybe you're going inward and you're alchemizing that real deep inner journey, or you're cracking open into your hearts. But that leads to that. Okay, that over time leads to that cracking open. It's like this real heart awakening, really powerful. And then of course, within that, you're like looking and thinking, wow, this anger is serving nothing. We're having deep awakenings, which moves us into endings and beginnings. Endings and beginnings. And it is time to begin. So endings and beginnings, and it is time to begin. No more procrastination. Pausing serves us. Procrastination is understanding why. It's like fight, flight, freeze. Procrastination is like, what is that? It is leaning into what is the procrastination. And remember what we said at the beginning. Remember who you are and all that you have ever been. Remember who you are and all that you have ever been. All right, really powerful. So endings and beginnings, time to begin, no more procrastination. We create the new through using courage. Okay, we create the new through using courage to live in bold and creative ways. It's like this, it's like you put yourself out there and it's like, well, you know what? We have to share. We need to create more spaces that we can share. It's about living in those bold and creative ways to live the big, bold life. And as one of my dear friends say, my soul brother, some of you will know, Matt from Golden Glow Healing, said in a ceremony last winter, solstice, he says, 2024 favors the brave. Okay, 2024 favors the brave. So the question is, which areas of your life would you like to bring courage to now? It's a beautiful question, that is. So the question is, which areas of your life would you like to bring courage to now? Here's a question. Guys, if you have questions, drop them in. And what is jumping out at you as we move through these themes? I'd love to hear. This is not just about me just chatting away to you. It's about us also interacting and sharing the conversation. So next theme, soulful relationships. Okay, soulful relationships rooted in growth and deep love. Okay, are you ready to be caught smiling? I love that. Are you ready to be caught smiling? Yes, you will smile a lot. Why? Because when we honor and respect and give ourselves the time to do what we love, to do what we really radiate, we then begin to radiate a magnetic field. And as my dear friend says, that when we love what we do, the world falls in love in the way we do it. And I think that's the biggest thing that we're going to see going forward, is those performers those people in the world that are really coming at this from a place of really wanting to touch the world around us, they are becoming hugely magnetic. And we're seeing that there are people out there in the world that are really becoming hugely magnetic, because what they're doing is they're sinking in the heart, and all that's coming through them is an expression of that. So as my dear friend says, when we do what we do, and we do it from a place of love, when we love what we do, the world falls in love with the way we do it. From there, our heart lights up the room. That's that magnetic energy, just radiating off somebody. From there, our heart lights up the room. It touches. We smile, and we feel loving towards both ourselves and others. Okay, and boom, soulful relationships rooted in love and growth come cascading into our lives, because we are radiating that. There are no shortcuts, there's no bypass. It is dissolving into this space. Soulful relationships that are based in enhancement. So it's this sense of enhancing rather than needing. It's enhancing, that are really anchored in goodness, in patience, in listening, in grace. They're passionate. It's like wanting to just absolutely get out there and amongst the world and really live. Passionate, and real deep sense of contentment. Okay, contentment. They feel to be really key words here. And alongside that, I think we're going to see a surge of people wanting to. It's almost like marriage is going to be alchemized as well. As if that is going to evolve, we're going to see a surge of hand fastings. It's like people once again gathering under a willow tree, under an oak tree, and sharing their vows. We're going to move from what was into what really was. It's like this sense of going full circle. Those moments again are being rooted in what feels to be alive, what has creativity to it, what has life force to it. There's lots percolating there as I say that. Alongside that, hand fastings come to mind. How's all this dropping with you guys? Do let me know. Empowerment and awakening as well. So empowerment and awakening, another theme here. This spring really does feel huge. People having dynamic experiences and spirit contact beyond the norm. Beyond the norm is becoming the new normal. Surprising, spiritual, interdimensional, direct, physical spirit contact experiences happening for many more people. I know that in this last month, those incredible, courageous people that I get to sit with, sharing with me that they are having real, bold, direct physical contact. It's like that world is merging with what I was going to say our own, but it's all one and the same. Many experiences happening for many more people, and also surprising experiences around perception of reality. It's like as if again that's just becoming wider, and with it comes new levels of trusting, not only in the innate but also with yourself. It's like some of these experiences are so solid, they cannot be, they can't be shaken off to be imagination, or just like, did I really experience that? I think that's going to be, some of that is going to be absolutely at the forefront, but there's something about it that is becoming very tangible. So it fosters new levels of trusting, and new levels of trusting within self. Again, it's like, what comes to mind is remembering who you are. It's like, it's not just who you are, it's who you've always been. So it's like, it's not about what you want to do, it's about what you want to become. Okay, that's very powerful. It's not about what you want to do, it's what you want to become. All right. So, think about, I've been trying to meditate, I've been trying to learn how to connect with the cards, or been, walking this path, I want to learn to do this. Well, more than likely, you've already done it. So it's just this case of remembering. Okay. So remembering who you are and who you've always been. This can often be fueled by some of those ruptures and endings and beginnings. And with some of that, when we talk about endings and beginnings, is understanding where this fearless urge is coming from. We're in the early stages of a really dynamic renewal period that is building us up towards and beyond this equinox. Okay, that's been bubbling up towards it and way beyond, this really powerful renewal period. And it is really, really, really powerful. So, only a week ago, this is a nice one to share. Only a week ago, a dear friend of mine was on her way over to me for her yearly sit down with Spirit, and her phone rung. Some of you may know this story if you watched the video that I dropped this morning. And her phone rung, and she thought to herself, it's okay, I'll check on that once I arrive at Shane's. She arrived a little early. She reached for her phone, and guess what? There was no trace of the call, as if it hadn't happened. She heard that phone ring. And thought, I'll reach. No, I won't. When I arrive, I'm going to get there a little bit early. When I arrive, I can pick up the phone, and then I can return the call and deal with that. When she got there, she arrives, and guess what? There was no trace of that call. And of course, modern day phones, there is always a footprint. There's always a footprint as a missed call, caller ID. And it was like as if it hadn't happened. You gotta love that. Powerful direct contact. Okay. And if that is a message, I wonder what that message is. I often say, if Spirit want to have a chat with you, they will pick up the phone. In this case, it was literal. Have you experienced anything like that? Have you experienced anything like that? And now for another powerful one. Another powerful one is the knock on the door. Okay. As mentioned, some of my great friends, Matt there from Golden Glow, he was experiencing the knock on the door, and not just once. And the same for us. Okay, even this morning I had it around 7 a.m. and then later in the afternoon I had it again. And guess what? There was nobody there. But of course, I know, and some people will say, well, if it's early in the morning, you was asleep, could that have been your dream? But the point is, it woke me up from my sleep. That's the point. So there's a noise that the knock wakes me up. So that gives me the sense that it's not an internal noise or sound, it's an external sound. It's a sound that's happening outside of me, which is really, really powerful. So if the knock on the door is a message, what could it be? Yeah, if a knock on the door is a message, what could it be? As Spirit often say, all information is information. Powerful contact, really, really powerful. Moving on for our themes, and we're going to turn some cards very shortly. Moving on from our themes is continued transparency and truth. Continued, and we're seeing that move through the world and also with ourselves, which is why I think so many of those other themes are also kind of interconnected. Am I ready to proceed towards this change? It's a really important question that we need to gently cultivate for ourselves. Am I ready to proceed towards this change, or do I need some deeper healing? Some deeper healing or release or support before I do. And remembering there's no rush. It has a life of its own. So we take our time and we listen deeply. We listen to our awareness. Okay. But I think the key is wherever you are within your life is, okay, where am I? Am I in alignment with everything within my life? And those things that I'm not, what is going on? And am I ready to proceed towards this change? Okay, very, very powerful. Because that's really what's going on in the outer world. These things are no longer working. The tower is going over. Are we going to try and shore that tower up? And that's what the world is trying to do. Or are we going to allow this to go over? And actually, in a way, it's already over. It's already in its process. It's not that it's going to go over. It's already aspects of it are in renewal, which is what's happening this spring. Aspects of it are already in renewal. That shift is here. And my dear friend tells me that there is another major one coming in June as well. That these shifts are taking hold. Last theme, resurgence of the arts, and I think that's coming from a deep longing, like we're hungry for things that feed the soul. We're really hungry for those things that feed the soul. Deep creativity is afoot here. The arts once more becoming soul food, born out of a deep longing for creativity, enchantment, and things that are alive. The artists and artisans, they're the alchemists, the musicians, the poets, the storytellers. These folk are artists and artisans, they're alchemists. They transform those base material into objects of beauty, utility, and delight and wonder. Just as the thinkers and creators of the past dared to dream and explore, so too are we being called to do the same. And we can embark on our own journeys of discovery, contributing to that legacy that transcends time and enriches the tapestry of the collective and human experience. And with that, and this has been a common thread, I see, like the churches emptying out. And I say that with heart and grace, but I really do see them emptying out. And as they do, they become concert halls, theatres, meeting houses, shared sacred spaces. And I see a time where I see the churches become those concert halls, those theatres and meeting houses where the people gather again once more. But this time we're gathering in circles rather than in pews and straight regimented lines. We're gathering in circles where the divine is once more in and amongst us. The thing is, going back, we were amongst the divine and the divinity. You know, the divinity and the source, the greatness and vastness was there in amongst the trees and the stones, the rivers, the wells, the springs, the mountains, the standing stones, all those sacred places. The divinity and the innate and the divine was amongst it, and the people were amongst it. It was in absolute relationship. It was in partnership. There was a cohesion. It was all moving in a really beautiful dance. And then what come along was men decided that it was no longer there. It was there up in the sky. And straight away, when they threw it up into the sky, they caused and created a separation. So you're now separated from the divine. Okay. And then you have to go to a certain place at a certain time to access it. Whereas before, it was there as you stepped out your door. It was there at your half side. It was there at your fireside. We gathered in circles and it met us and we met it. All right. So something to think about. So we gather in circles rather than in pews and straight regimented lines, where the divine is once more in amongst us all. And I see those marriages shifting back into hand fastings, gathered in circles within churches. Powerful, powerful stuff. Powerful stuff. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Has that resonated with you? What has resonated with you? Do you have any questions? We're going to turn the cards in the last 10 minutes or so. We're going to take 2 cards as we did last month. And the first card being the guide that is going to carry us through this next cycle of time. It does feel very punchy right now. Sat full moon incoming, and we're riding the wave of the equinox, which is all about balance. So a lot of these themes that we have shared and discussed, at the heart of them is bringing everything into balance. Any questions? Do we have any questions? Okay. There we go. I think second one down, I'm feeling. Oh, no, it is that one. I'm going to take 2 of them. It's interesting. We normally take 1. Wow. Okay. So we've got the guides. Amazing. And then we're going to give these shuffle. We're looking for where the healing's required. We're looking at the shadow. We're just going to take, once I've shuffled, a card off the bottom. There. Okay, there's that one. Wow. Okay. Amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. So look at this. Think about everything that we've said. Think about everything we've said. It's just given me goosebumps. And we take a look at this as being a guide. Surrender. Surrender. And look at the words. Okay. That was shared early on in the theme that we were expressing. Let go, freedom, and flow. Surrender being the key word. Okay, surrender, let go, freedom, and flow. And that kind of, speaks very, very strongly to one of the beginning themes here that we were talking about, which was endings and beginnings. Karmic contracts served and met, drifting and evolution within friendships, rifts, liberation, and deep healing. All right, keyword: surrender, let go, freedom, and flow. Okay, very, very, very powerful. Look at the imagery. Beautiful imagery. You can see the surrender there. Okay. And we had another card because these two cards wanted to come together. As we were talking about as well, it's mirroring back, is the theme here is the Fae, the Fae, the nature spirits. And look at the key words: the mother, nurture, and present. Gwyneth. The mother, nurture, and present. And that for me is kind of like really tied into what we shared there towards the end, which is this feeling of, you know, the arts and the resurgence, and this sense of, you know, returning to the land, and repairing, reforming, and mending our relationship with the land. As I say, you know, the divinity was thrown up into the sky. It was absolutely thrown up into the sky, but it was there amongst us, and it's this sense of reforming. And those words, the mother, nature, nurture, and present. That's the thing, is moving into the present. Okay, beautiful cards as a guide. The shadow card is material changes. Okay, financial and material changes. And I think that's the thing, is like sometimes we stay absolutely where we are because at some level it feels as if it's easy to do so. You know, life has been designed, duped in such a way, it is not easy to make changes that are wholesome, healthy, heal and soothe the soul, because we are buried underneath all of this. But I think, well, I know that there are also times where we go, do you know what? Our need for peace is greater, and that fuels that transformation and change, and it fuels us to have the courage. Okay, and that's that whole thing of what we were saying earlier on, is where is that energy coming from? Where is that courageous energy coming from? Where is that fearless urge coming from? Okay, because, you know, there comes a point in the journey where we go, my need and requirement for peace is greater than staying where I am. There we are. That is Sap Moon, full moon incoming, tarot insight and energy update. I really, really hope you've enjoyed the live stream. You will find that there's some really lovely links. Lisa, long time Lisa, thanks, enjoyed. You are so welcome. And you'll find some links there to the tarot journey as well. And you'll be able to watch this back as well. In the coming weeks, I will drop a date for next month's as well. And we'll look at what themes begin to percolate. But I hope you've really enjoyed this. And I hope that it has served you. And I hope that it continues to serve you. Those of you that follow me over on Instagram, you'll find that come next week, I'm taking a little break for just under 2 weeks. And then I will very, very, very gently be back. But over the weekend, we've got an incredible weekend of storytelling. And if you're local and you would like to join us, we do have a couple places left. Head over to the website, which is www.shanegadd.com. Hit the storytelling circles, and you will be able to, if you feel inspired to do, is join us. But until next time, as always, keep shining, and sending you all so much love. So lovely to see you, Maria, HT, Lisa. So lovely to see you all, and take care. See you next time. Keep shining.